Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel for you if I don't shake hands. My name is Mark, and if you are new here, please hit that like, please hit that subscribe, and if you are coming back to watch another video, thank you so much for coming back. We really love to see returning viewers, and trying to make this the best channel I can, putting out more content. If you don't know what we do, I review a lot of movies, TV, basically anything that I sort of find interesting. Today, we're deviating a little bit from that, and I'm going to talk about this place that's near and dear to my heart out here in Nashville, Tennessee, where you can find a lot of good deals regarding DVDs and movies, CDs, records. It's a huge store called McKay's. So today it's going to be all about my purchases on my recent trip to McKay's. So let's get to it. Best explanation of this place is a picture like a giant like Target or a Walmart hollowed out and replaced with nothing but shelves and media from all over. DVDs, Blu-Ray, records, tapes, CDs. I think they even had some 8-tracks the last time I was there. They sell Pokemon cards, pop figures, Legos, computers, keyboards, musical instruments of all sorts, collectibles. You name it, they have it. And for the most part, it is insanely well organized. There are a couple places around the store, not so much, but that's sort of the joy of it too. Like you never know what you're going to find in this place. But for the most part, a majority of the store is very well organized. I do highly recommend, though, going with some sort of list or an idea of what you may want, because it's very easy to get overwhelmed. And if you're like me, who hasn't really organized their DVDs to the fullest yet, you don't know what you have and what you don't have. I need to get better with that. So I'm relying heavily on an app called Just Watch so I can figure out what's at least streaming and what's not. But yeah, so I went in with just a list of basically two things. I had just recently seen Clerks 3, which I enjoyed. You can check out the video either up here somewhere, a link to that video when I review it. So I went in there wanting to purchase Clerks 1 and 2 was the main thing. I had not seen either of those in a very long time. The notion of just making a movie with money from credit cards was very exciting to me. I was way into indie film back in the 90s, and it was like people were making movies that were my age about stuff that we were going through. But ironically, I didn't own the movie. I thought for sure I did. I went through, after I had seen Clerks 3, I went through my collection. Did not see that I had owned a copy of it, which is shocking to me. I figured at least I'd have a DVD from like a zillion years ago. Did not have it. So I went there to purchase Clerks. This is the Blu-ray version. It was $12.95, which is sort of high price, but they do know their pricing. You're not going to find like rare movies and really hard to find things that aren't considered classics for bargain basement prices. There are great deals on things, but if you're looking for certain specific collectibles or things that have gone on to become classics, like this one has, they know what they're doing. So this is the 15th anniversary version. I'm looking forward to it for all the extras and behind the scenes and the alternate ending and stuff like that. I have not seen some of this stuff, so very excited to rewatch Clerks in Blu-ray. Then that led me down the Kevin Smith wormhole. I was originally going to buy Clerks 2. They did not have Clerks 2. So then I found a copy of Dogma for $10. Again, I have not seen this since it came out in the theaters. So if you haven't kept up, the other thing I'm trying to do, aside from watching like sort of newer things, is going back to older titles that I have not seen in a very long time and sort of watching them with fresh eyes. And basically I have ADD and I remember enjoying these things, but I don't remember specifics. So I'm going back to sort of catch up to specifics and really commit some of these to memory and have watched them with fresh eyes. So Dogma, that was $9.95. Again, higher than I would sort of be willing to pay. It was one of the more expensive ones, but again, hard to find one of the original printings. I guess this came out in 2000, so it's already 22 years old. So then we get into, so that's the organized aisles with everything's comedy, horror. This is all broken out. Then they have these gigantic tables just filled with DVDs. I think it's their common titles and stuff, and the prices are insane. They sell DVDs for 25 cents, for $1.25, 95 cents, and you just kind of go through and start filling in the gaps. I've gotten to the point where I don't need everything in Blu-ray. Not everything is available in Blu-ray. So I'm just like, okay, I haven't seen a movie in a while, and what am I going to do? Like $1 here, 25 cents there? Like, to check these out, to revisit these. A lot of them aren't streaming. I had my app, like I said, I use this app called Just Watch, and I'd look things up, so a lot of things aren't even streaming that I bought. So let's get to it. So here's the first one. I have a ton of westerns I want to get to. Unforgiven, 3:10 to Yuma, some others. I can't think of them all right now. Rio Bravo, I think. So this is when I get to westerns. I remember seeing this on a theater, at a Revival theater when I lived in LA. But again, it's not in my collection. It is now 95 cents for the good, the bad, and the ugly, and it's in widescreen. I did try to check that as often as I could to get them, at the very least, if I can't get them in Blu-ray, I at least want them in widescreen. So 95 cents for that. Then I came across Slither. This is the first time I was made aware of James Gunn, and this movie came out, I believe, in the early 2000s. It says 2006. This came out. So this is Slither is directed by James Gunn, who is now a big heavy hitter, not only in Marvel, but now he's got big dealings going on with DC. He was the guy behind Peacemaker, which turned out to be a phenomenal show. Slither is great. This is the first time I ever saw Elizabeth Banks. Michael Rooker is in it. When he was sort of, back then, he was just that guy. He had shown up in a couple things, and you knew his face, but I didn't know his name. And this was fresh off the heat. Like, I had grown up watching a lot of horror movies from the 80s, a lot of straight-to-DVD titles, and this had the aesthetic of an 80s straight-to-DVD movie. And I remember watching it, not knowing anything about James Gunn or anything like I know now. And just like, wow, this movie is like a throwback to the stuff I used to watch in the VCR days. So that was a lot of fun. And I was glad to see that for 95 cents. Again, in widescreen, you can't go wrong. Then we get to another pricier one. The other thing I'm doing, I got all these genres to get to, and I have a poster of 100 movies that have won various awards. And as you watch them, you scratch them off. And so I have, at the very least, if I don't know what to watch, I could go to my list. I have 100 movies to watch and scratch them off as I go. Again, partly to refresh my memory and revisit some of these things, or to actually watch things I've never watched for some reason. So this is a double feature with Argo and The Town. These are two Ben Affleck directed movies, and I absolutely loved both of these movies. So to see them packaged together for $9, I thought that was a great deal in Blu-ray. I'm a big fan of Ben Affleck's directing. I love The Town. I would have been very eager to see a version of his Batman if he would have gone through with it. Anyway, Argo is on the list as an Academy Award winner. I forget for what. I think it won for Best Screenplay. I'm not 100% sure. So that's on the list. So that's actually why I purchased it. And the fact that it came with The Town, which is a movie that I thought was awesome, was a bonus. So double feature, $8.95 Blu-ray, The Town and Argo. Then I found Trading Places with Eddie Murphy and Dan Aykroyd. I have not seen this in a very long time. And it's a Paramount movie, and it's not streaming on Paramount Plus, which I don't understand. So for 95 cents, I picked up a copy. Very excited to revisit this again. It is a comedy classic. So, yes. At the time of this recording, it was not streaming. So, here it is. Tommy Boy was $2. Like I said, they know their pricing. They know, again, I have not seen this since I think it came out. I just remember so much about it, even in that one viewing. So I'm very excited to revisit this again. I'm very excited to introduce this to my son, who hopefully will get as much of a kick out of it as I do. So I'm very excited to revisit that. Then we have Bridget Fonda in Point of No Return. Funny thing is, I used to own this movie. I must have sold it somewhere along the line. Picked it up for 25 cents. And I know a lot of people are going to be like, oh, you got to watch the original, the French version, La Femme Nikita, so much better. I love that movie, but I love this movie when it came out. I've seen it a bunch of times. When I saw it for 25 cents, I couldn't resist. Bridget Fonda is so gorgeous in this movie. There's so much to like about it. Harvey Keitel is awesome. I love this movie. And to pick it up for a quarter, I couldn't resist. Had to. Puts a smile on my face just talking about it. I'm currently in the midst of all the stuff that I'm watching. I'm into watching a lot of Martin Scorsese movies, things I have not seen in a very long time, things of his I've never seen. And I'm trying to watch a bunch of them because he is one of my favorite directors, and I just never delved into his older stuff. I sort of got into him with Goodfellas, which is 1990, but he's had a slew of movies since then. And picked up The Departed. Again, these aren't Blu-ray. A lot of them aren't Blu-ray, but 25 cents for The Departed. Come on. Can't go wrong with that. Again, I saw this movie once in the theater when it came out, and I have not seen it since. So I'm looking forward to it. I do remember enjoying it. I do remember it being quite the crime thriller. So I just have to get these things etched in my memory again. So I'm looking forward to The Departed. Again, for 25 cents. Can't go wrong. Zoolander, keeping up with comedy classics. I love this movie. I've always loved Ben Stiller's take on being famous and pop culture and stuff like that. In my opinion, he has done way more good than bad. Tropic Thunder is a comedy classic. Cable Guy, which I just watched not too long ago, still holds up, if not more so than it did when it first came out. He didn't direct this. Oh yes, he did direct this. And this reminds the movies that he's directed look like full-length feature films of skits from his old Ben Stiller show, that short-lived 12-episode run he did for Fox. These look like ideas that sat on the shelf, and he turned them into comedy gold. So 25 cents for Zoolander. Can't wait. Love it. Here's one I have not seen since the old HBO days when I was young and probably should have been too young to watch it. $2 got me a copy of the 26th anniversary edition of The Jerk. Again, with my new refound love for Steve Martin with Only Murders in the Building, it got me thinking about all the stuff I used to love in my younger days of his. The Jerk, certainly up there. Probably something that couldn't be made today. $2, couldn't resist. I'm looking forward to having a comedy film festival with some of these. And then here is another one that I absolutely loved in the theater. I loved edgy visuals that even if the plot made no sense or was hard to follow or just was silly, I loved it. Wanted, with James McAvoy, Morgan Freeman, and Angelina Jolie, I thought at the time was awesome. I loved it. It's pretty much, I believe, a Matrix ripoff with some of the stuff, but I just thought it was cool. It was very video game at the time, the way the angles worked and stuff. I thought it was cool. Angelina Jolie is gorgeous in this. I just thought it was action-packed. Again, 25 cents. I'm sorry, can't pass it up. Pain and Gain with Mark Wahlberg and Dwayne Johnson, otherwise known as The Rock. I picked this up for specifically two reasons. One, I'm a huge Rock fan. I think I'm on tap to owning trying to get all his movies, at least all the ones that I can actually rewatch over and over. And B, this is the idea of a Michael Bay low-budget movie. It's ridiculous. It's got the sun flares, a lot of handheld stuff. I thought this movie was phenomenal in a total Michael Bay way. I am a big Michael Bay fan. I do not bash him like so many others. I think his movies are fun. His movies are the equivalent of going to the fair. It's all about junk food. It's all about having a good time. And his movies seldom disappoint. So 25 cents for Pain and Gain to watch The Rock snort coke and Mark Wahlberg being this just total meathead that with this plan that totally doesn't work. 95 cents. Next one up. The original Last House on the Left. This is a Wes Craven movie, produced by the gentleman that brought us the first couple Friday the 13th, Sean Cunningham. Now, I've never seen the original. I have seen the remake, and I thought it was awesome. So I never actually got to this one. So for 95 cents, I couldn't resist. I figured I'd give it a try. So I actually never seen this movie. I'm a big Wes Craven fan. I even liked Deadly Friend, which people goof on relentlessly. But I never saw these. So I'm looking forward to this. I'm also looking forward to watching the remake again, because that one was legitimately terrifying for a lot of different reasons. Seeing here, it came out in 1972. That's the year I was born, so this movie is as old as I am. Perhaps that's why I never saw it. Then for $2, I couldn't resist owning this movie. I don't know if it's streaming anywhere. I didn't even look on this one. I just thought it was crazy that the World War III almost ensued because of this movie. I don't know if this will ever end up in the history books as what a problem this movie had caused when it came out. And it's the first time I got introduced to Randall Park, and I just remember the banter between these two being very funny about what an ordeal this movie caused. I'm looking forward to checking this out again and maybe trying to frame it to my son exactly how crazy the world had gotten for a couple weeks, specifically because of this movie. Anyway, $2 for the interview. Here's a movie I have not seen probably since VHS was a thing. Fish Called Wanda. This is one of those movies I specifically want to watch with new eyes, older eyes, more mature eyes. It's considered a comedy classic. My father-in-law, before he passed, worshipped this movie, loved this movie. And I remember watching it. I remember laughing about it. I love witty banter. I love all that stuff. I just remember nothing specific about it. So I'm eager to watch this with fresh eyes after all these years. And then I picked up The Equalizer for 95 cents because Denzel Washington is awesome. I've never actually seen these. I actually thought it was sort of a joke when they made a movie based on the old TV show and Denzel Washington. But I'm really digging Anton Fuqua. He's really come into his own. And I just watched Training Day not too long ago. And that's a movie that still holds up tremendously well. And from what I understand, they're making a third one. So I kind of wanted to get on this and check this out. I'm going to check the second one out. They didn't have it. But I'm eager to check out The Equalizer. Again, for $1, I couldn't pass it up. Get to our second rock movie. This is more of a request from my son, who has not seen it. Central Intelligence with Kevin Hart and The Rock. I think this is the comedy duo of our times, and I'm not saying that ironically. I enjoy them. I know a lot of people are sick of Kevin Hart, always acting like Kevin Hart. I do not care. I think that he is a funny everyman. I just think it's a blast. So, again, this I thought this was a funny movie at the time. My son wanted to see it more than me, but had to add it to the collection anyway. So our rock section on my DVD shelf over there is bursting at the seams. So looking forward to watching this one again. Then we have, for $2, I picked up
Silence of the Lambs.
The special edition, again, not Blu-ray. I have not seen this since 1991. I was working in a movie theater at the time. I loved it then. It's very haunting and disturbing, but I loved it. I loved when Jodie Foster's with the night vision and all that stuff. Looking forward to checking this one out again after many, many years. And this is also on my list. I keep pointing over here because that's where my list is. 100 movies. This one, Best Picture, says right there. So I'm looking forward to not only watching this, but crossing a movie off my list over there. So that's exciting. Again, $2. Silence of the Lamb. And the last one, as far as the DVDs are concerned, my son has been clamoring to see this for a while, and I don't remember much of it, other than if my son takes interest and actually points out certain titles that he wants to see again, I kind of perk my ears up, because it's funny the stuff that he gravitates towards and what sticks with him. I don't force movies down his throat. We don't sit on the couch and watch them as often as we used to. But he did mention Now You See Me, so pick that up for 95 cents. Can't go wrong. So that's all the DVDs that I got. Please let me know below in the comments some of your favorite movies, what you like, stores by you that have good deals, or where you find like cool stuff in your neck of the woods. Like I said, this place is called McKay's. It's here in Nashville. So the last thing I picked up was a book called Askew View, and it's basically, again, I was there in a Clerks mood and I kind of want to read more about it. You know, a lot of this stuff I'm a casual observer. I don't do deep dives, and I don't know why that is. I just never, I know enough about a bunch of little subjects, but I'm not an expert in any one particular subject. So I could sit here and talk about a specific movie, but sometimes someone's overall career, I can't get into all that because I haven't seen everything. I don't know everything. Some people spend their lives watching extras and listening to commentary. I tend not to do that. I'm only just now getting into the extras on some of these videos that I make. That's everything that I picked up. So thank you so much for watching me ramble on about my haul from McKay's here in Nashville, Tennessee. Thank you so much for watching. Please hit like, please hit that subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Thank you so much.